The 13 duos competing in the fourth edition of the Guyader Bermudes 1000 race, Brest to the fastnet rock, and back to Brest, had, as their FIST task, to test their boats in a full-on race against the clock. The foilers
d'avoir le troisième temps, on pensait pas faire podium. Je t'avoue qu'on a tous un peu appris à gérer un run aussi. On n'était pas forcément calé hyper bien. Après, ça dépendait un petit peu de la session qui était ventée ou pas. Il y avait des belles variations sur le plan d'eau. Donc voilà, super content d'avoir pu exploiter le potentiel du bateau.
Here are our highlights in the global sport of sailing for the week ended May 12, 2023. The big news from the ocean race was that another Imoca had dismasted, leaving the small fleet with only 3 boats competitive, who could start in leg 5 across the Atlantic back to Europe. Here is Guyot Entertainment's emotional skipper. They certainly have had bad luck in this event.
Eh ben, la nuit dernière, aux alentours de 2h40 UTC, moi j'étais hors quart avec Robert et Seb et Annie étaient en quart et on a entendu un gros bam. J'ai vite sorti la tête, j'ai demandé à Seb qu'est-ce qui se passe et il m'a dit désolé Benj, mais on a dématé. Et voilà, dès que je suis sorti, en effet, j'ai vu que le mât était dans l'eau et ouais, c'est dur quoi. Je me suis dit mais non, c'est pas possible, pas encore. Pas possible quoi. Et le dur retour à la réalité est en fait que si le mât est bien dans l'eau et qu'il faut qu'on se sécurise de cette situation au plus tôt. Donc voilà, c'était vraiment un moment pas facile et je pense que les prochains jours vont être des moments vraiment pas faciles.
For the 11 teams, which will race under 7 different national flags at this week's 52 Super Series Saint-Tropez Sailing Week, the long months of preparation end today, when the first points race of the 5 Regatta 2023 season gets underway on the Côte d'Azur's Gulf of Saint-Tropez.
So bienvenue, a very warm welcome to Saint-Tropez. It's the very first time the 52 Super Series has come to France and to Saint-Tropez. Great week in prospect, 11 boats racing, 7 different nations, and it's going to be tight all the way through. So after the first day of racing on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, well, it's a great opening for the Interlodge team from Rhode Island. Austin and Gwen Fragaman's team have only won 1 race on the circuit back in 2022, but today they came away with 2 bullets, winning both races, leading all the way around the course first time round. Breeze was quite light, 6 to 8 knots in the first race, and the breeze in the second race dropping away. They got round just inside Value on the second race, and they say 2 wins then for Interlodge. A good day also for Alpha Plus, 3rd in the first race. Also Value coming through in 2nd on the second race, and great racing, nice light conditions, gentle introduction to the season, but Interlodge come away top of the table.
It's very hard to win any races, so we were particularly pleased with our performance today.
So after 2 races then, Interlodge lead with their 2 bullets getting 2 points. Pravetsa are in 2nd on 7 points and Gladiator 3rd on 8 points.
11th Hour Racing Team won leg 4 of the Ocean Race, leading the fleet into their hometown of Newport, Rhode Island, on a spectacular spring afternoon in New England. Skipper Charlie Enright was beaming as he stepped ashore, moments after his team held off Team Malaysia to cross the finishing line for their first leg win of the event. "This means so much to all of us," Enright said. "Timing is everything, and to be able to get this result, on this leg, coming to our home base in Newport, feels incredible. Everybody on the team played a role and did their part. It feels so good to see all the boats on the water, and the people here on shore to welcome us and share this with us. We're grateful for the support, and happy we could get the win for everybody. It wasn't an easy leg." Over the 17 days of racing north from Brazil, the teams had to manage numerous transitions between weather systems, from the southern hemisphere trade winds, through the doldrums, and into the North Atlantic trades. A storm just 2 days out from the finish brought wind gusts over 50 knots, and a brutal sea state, conditions that veteran on-board reporter Amory Ross described as terrifying. And through it all, 11th Hour Racing Team and Team Malaysia exchanged the lead over a dozen times, before Enright and his squad emerged with the win Wednesday afternoon. "This was a great race," said Team Malaysia's skipper Will Harris. "It was close racing, which is something we always like, and it sets us up nicely for the legs ahead. The results today, combined with overall race leader Team Wholesome PRB having to retire from the leg after dismasting on day 4, mean the top 3 teams on the leaderboard will be within 1 point when the transatlantic race starts on Sunday the 21st of May. Paul Mailhat's Biotherm crew is still at sea racing towards Newport, with over 150 miles left to run. Their ETA has slipped into Thursday, as the boat is mired in lighter winds. Leg 4 positions, as at 8 p.m. Universal Time, coordinated on Wednesday the 10th of May 2023. 1. 11th Hour Racing Team 5 points. 2. Team Malaysia 4 points. 3. Biotherm still racing. 4. Guyot Environment Team Europe, suspended racing. 5. Team Wholesome PRB retired from leg, 0 points. INEOS Britannia looked scintillating on Wednesday, as the team took to the water with their new slight anhedral, long span, portfoil replete with its barrage of mounted cameras for a superb day of commissioning that will certainly have raised a smile with the design office and data engineers back at Mercedes Applied Science headquarters in Brackley, Northamptonshire.
Lethyn Mon, you were trimming, doing flight control on the port side of T6 today. T6 back out of the shed after quite a short upgrade period. What can you tell us about the upgrades?
Yeah, it was obviously good to get back out in T6 after the last kind of 10 days or so. And yeah, obviously a new foil on that starboard side. So yeah, great to get out on that, give it its first run out, and hopefully a few more days to go this week.
Anything about that banana foil that you can tell us? I know that you weren't directly controlling that today, but what's the feeling off the boat as you come ashore tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a concept that we've seen across a few of the other teams. So yeah, early days for sure for us. Very much kind of a commissioning day, really, to be honest. Making sure that it's kind of actuating everything as expected. And we'll have to have a look at the data tonight and see what we can see from it.
Any issues with the boat technically today? It's just come out of the shed, or was everything good?
No, it was a bit of a slow start, but most of that was just kind of checking that everything was functioning as expected. We then got into the towing behind Chase 4, and then pretty quickly after that we were into kind of sails up and got some sailing hours in.
Can you share anything with us about the thinking behind, just in general terms, of this curved foil? Is it aimed at the Barcelona conditions where it might be a bit more forgiving in a seaway?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously saw the Kiwis last time around with a slight curve into their foil, and it seems like most teams are kind of leaning that way. The challenge is obviously choosing kind of where to stick the junction, and how confident you are with that in a sea state. So we've obviously seen a few variations across the teams, and hopefully over the next kind of few weeks we'll kind of draw our own kind of conclusions from it.
We saw again that kind of splash that we saw with the W foil, which I think is a function of the height of that junction. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, often you get a bit of a splash if you get quite a big vent, and I guess as our kind of control refines, and obviously particularly in harder sea states, they potentially become a bit more frequent, but yeah, not desirable.
Just talk us through the conditions today. Started off pretty light as you were doing your tow testing, and then built quite nicely, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was quite light to start with. A bit of a sea state still, so we kind of tucked ourselves away up the coast, and then yeah, the breeze came in. Again, it was quite a strange day in a way, not like a classic sea breeze day. But yeah, eventually we kind of got up to kind of 11, 12 knots. So it was quite nice.
You said you're going to have to look at the data for tonight. What's your general consensus? A good day on the water? Has the boat just come out of the shed?
Yeah, I think pretty happy. To be honest, having had a day, having had kind of a week and a bit in the shed, to get out of the water and it to be kind of working as expected, is pretty happy.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that with us.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
The second day of racing at Antigua Sailing Week was blessed with fabulous sailing conditions. The trade winds were in, gusting up to 17 knots from the east. With over a metre of ocean swell and an air temperature in the high 20s centigrade, it was a marvellous day to be out racing at the Caribbean's most famous regatta.
Last year, Antigua Sailing Week was my first experience, even with the Y2K program. I was on a Volvo 70, so it was big, exciting, because I was a first-time sailor. It brought opportunities, big opportunities. What am I enjoying about this year is that I have more of my friends came out because I begged them, so to say, to come out and try it, because last year it was big. So this year I want them to experience the same thing I did. Now they're experiencing it and they're loving it, so I'm glad for that.
Me and my brother asked my dad, and he was hesitant at first because of a bunch of kids, but we convinced him, and here we are now.
A lot less maneuvering, more tactics and stuff like that.
It's more intense.
Yeah, a lot more intense. Sailing with each other, I guess, and the experience.
Sailing with
big boats, action. Sailing fast. Yeah. We've been first all two races. Yeah.
So far.
And our rate went higher, so we had to work extra hard today to keep our first place. So yeah, it's really fun.
What do you guys want to do for a living when you grow up?
I want to work on big boats. Yeah, work on big boats, do fishing. And there's a lot of cruising here, so you have more opportunities to work on bigger boats. There's a lot of good sailors.
It's just free.
During the course of last year to now, I have been on another Volvo 70. I just did the Caribbean 600. It was a lovely experience. I will do it again, like 6 more times. From here, I officially became a member of the Rock. I'm glad for that. So I'm leaving soon to go up there and start my big part in sailing. My end goal is basically to become a yacht skipper. Yeah, I see this as a career. Y'all will catch me soon in big boat.
We are viewer-supported sailing media. Please subscribe, share, like and check to alerts bell. After modest opening days on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, 2 of the 52 Super Series top teams showed a marked return to form as the southerly breezes picked up on the second day of the 52 Super Series Saint-Tropez Sailing Week. Harm Muller-Spree's German-flagged platoon team podium finishers for the last 5 years and 2 times world champions had an inauspicious start to their season Wednesday, but they bounced back from a 16 points first day to be top-scoring boat.
So the fleet docking out from beautiful Saint-Tropez, the tensions of day one, well, it's hard to tell whether the tensions dropped or actually risen. Great test on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez. Well, the second day for racing saw much better conditions. It was really about Platoon, though, coming back with winning the first race, getting a third in the second race. Quantum Racing, the champions, won the second race of the day and started to show some good form. First race, it was a win for Platoon. They round the top mark just behind Paprec, the French team, leading at the top mark. And at the leeward gate, Platoon went round the right-hand side mark and they got away to win the race. Paprec getting through in second.
What I felt in the beginning, we have the potential to be strong, and that we show today.
Second race, Platoon got closed out and had to restart. Quantum got out to the right along with Sled on the first beat, and they were the first two round the top mark, and they went on to be first and second.
Today we felt better than we did yesterday, and we hope to feel better tomorrow.
So a good recovery for Platoon, make them the top scoring boat of the day, but Interlodge still just on top of the standings. Now ahead of Provezza, Interlodge on 16, Provezza 17, Allegra on 19, and that first and a third today take Platoon up to fourth place on 20 points.
Brest, France, hosts the GWA Wingfoil European Championships, where there were 33 men and 4 women registered to compete in both the free fly slalom and surf freestyle disciplines.
Hi, I'm Francesco Capuzzo. I come from Italy. My first time here in Brest for the European Championship from the Wingfoil Tour. I'm pretty happy to be here because I really like the place and we had really nice weather as well.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Flora Arsner. Aujourd'hui, on a lancé la première manche de race. Pour l'instant, ça se passe bien, je suis devant, donc on croise les doigts pour la suite.
Well, that's it for day number 1 here at the GWA Wingfoiling European Championship. We had a little bit of wind and we were able to get through 5 elimination of the women and through 1 complete elimination of the men. At the moment, it looks like Flora Arsner and Bastien Escoffet are on top of the overall rankings, but we will have to find out as there is a lot of action to come our way. Tomorrow's Skippers meeting is going to be at 9:30. Will it be freestyle? Will it be slalom? We will soon find out. Make sure to tune in on all our social media channels to follow the action.
Solid trade winds over 15 knots blessed the third day of Antigua Sailing Week. With racing now past the halfway stage, the action was as hot as the air temperature, with teams pulling out all the stops. Reggae in the Park race day was full on as sailors will wind down tonight for Reggae in the Park, followed by Lucky Eddie's Lay Day.
I'm from Tanzania, skipper on the boat Rasaben, chartered from Dream Yacht Charters.
I'm also from Tanzania. I'm a floating crew. I do what the captain tells me, not all the time, but most of the time.
Well, we've travelled from one beautiful place to another beautiful place. We've been here now, this is our second week, cruised for a week. It's been close racing. The starts have been nice and competitive. That's one of my specialities.
We've been surprised how close it is. I mean, yesterday's first race, I think there was 20 seconds between 4 boats. We have a lot of racing in Tanzania, but different mixed fleets and cats and hobby cats and lasers. It's the first time we're on a big fleet of the same boat. We're learning a lot as well from the committee boats, how they set up races internationally. So that's been a pleasure as well.
Which we'll take back to Tanzania because, yeah, we've learned a lot. I think there's a lot of people out there who'd like to be part of this whole event, don't have the skills or haven't had the training to go onto these big, beautiful boats. So this is a great alternative and they feel part of it. The reasons to come, just the sailing quality, it's really good. The hospitality, it's just been fun. Oh, and the rum.
Yeah.
The rum's pretty good.
Rum.
I'm sailing on Westerly Consort Kite. It's 29-foot bilge keeler. So I came over with the Ark and I've sailed over 5,000 miles to get here. When I decided to do the Ark and I just thought, well, I'm definitely doing Antigua Sailing Week as well. So that's the aim, that's the goal. Let's get to Antigua, but in company with the Ark. So there's a few Ark boats here as well. A bit of a family crew, the novices at sailing. So we're all learning together, basically. I've never raced round the Cans before. This is the first time. So race 1 was completely new to me. And the club class system seems to be quite generous for cruising sailors like myself. Purely the handicap system makes it work for me. I couldn't compete in a proper out-and-out race, but with club class, it's a really good opportunity to have a bit of racing in a cruising boat. I'm absolutely loving every minute of it, and I'd definitely come back, yeah.
After a day on which the Gulf of Saint-Tropez offered up a strengthening sea breeze and beautiful spring sunshine, Ergun İmre's Turkish-flagged Preveza team lead the 52 Super Series Saint-Tropez Sailing Week by one single point ahead of Andy Soriano's almost equally consistent Allegri. Defending champions Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, are up to third on the general classification.
So day 3 of racing here in Saint-Tropez. We've had 2 decent days. Most of the teams now have got themselves firing, getting some good results under their belts. Much more chilled vibe around the race dock. Let's go racing. Well, Saint-Tropez dealing up a great day of racing, real champagne conditions, breeze up to probably 20 knots in the second race, and super tight racing all the way through. First race, Will Sleder closed out at the committee boat end of the line, but actually managed to wriggle through, get up the first beat and lead round the top mark. Preveza second. Preveza get through on the run, but it's Sled coming through to win the first race. The wind actually picks up for the second race of the day. Looks like Sleder putting in a repeat performance, then leading into the top mark on port tack, but it's super close. There's a big raft up and Sled get caught on the inside. Allegra and Quantum Racing get clear. Quantum Racing win the race. Allegra is second, but it's Preveza still at the top of the table.
managing points from here to the end is still early. We still have 4 races to go. It's just trying to get good starts, doing good speed as we are doing, trying to nail the tactics. All of that is very easy. and just trying to hold it.
So after 6 races, Preveza leading on 25 points, second Allegra 26 points and third Quantum Racing powered by American Magic 27 points.